Assalamualaikum and a very good morning pada semua. Apa khabar everybody? Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, good, very good. Right. So today is okay, Jiarui, good morning. Okay. How are you doing now, Jiarui? Okay. So this morning, today is Monday, 21st of March. Okay. We are in our first week of our regular semester, first week of our academic calendar. You are now in your final semester, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, congratulations pada semua. You've come so far to reach your final semester of your degree course, okay, in civil engineering. Inshallah, everybody will get through your final semester. Okay, and selepas your final your apa nama undergraduate punya studies, maybe some of you would like to take up your postgraduate studies, right? Ada yang berfikir nak buat masters or to proceed from daripada masters hingga kepada your PhD punya level. Okay, so I wish all the best to all of you. You are now in your final semester. You will be graduating in about 4.5 months lagi, 4.5 bulan. Your final exams will come by in about 4.5 months, and you will complete your degree in civil engineering. Jadi congratulations dan juga tahniah in advance, ya. Walaupun belum habis lagi, tapi I think it's proper that you have that apa nama encouragement, to go through your final last semester. I have 3 students yang doing their FYP with me. Okay, Jiarui, okay, Fikah dan juga seorang lagi Azizah, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so they will also be doing their last and final semester before graduating. Okay, so today we have about 71 participants. I'm combining all the 3 sections. In IDP 2, we have section 1, section 2, and section 3 doing their IDP 2, and it's just a briefing, a short briefing on what to expect in your IDP 2, right? Previously, I think a few days ago, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I've shared the timetable, okay, with your class representatives. We have 3 class representatives representing section 1, section 2 dan juga section 3. By the way, section 3, I've checked with the AIMS punya our AIMS punya name list. There's only about 13 ataupun 14 students sahaja in section 3. Am I right? Do you have only about 13 or 14 students in section 3? Anyone from
Doctor, some of us friends is still registration not completed.
Okay, Abdul Rahman, yes, you are the class representative for section 3. So how many students are you expecting to be in section 3?
Doctor, approximately 25 to 30 students.
Around 25 to 30 students. Okay, good. So in section 1, we have about 40 plus students. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 46. Section 2, anyone from section 2 here? Anyone from section 2? Please make some noise. Section 2? Tak ada? No one from ada? Ya, Kelana. Muhammad Kelana. Terima kasih. Thank you for your cooperation in coordinating dengan your apa nama your class, your section to join kita punya IDP briefing today. By the way, nanti around 11 we have our first RC class for section 2. I'm picking up the RC lecture for RC2 lecture for section 2. Okay. Kita punya class will start in about 11 a.m. So we'll finish this briefing dalam maybe 10 a.m. Then saya break sekejap and we'll continue later on. I'll continue with my RC2 lectures. Anyway, just to share some important dates that you need to keep in mind. Okay, pertama sekali is the IDP timeline. Hopefully semua nampak. Is everybody can everyone see this timeline? I will upload everything, even our discussion today, briefing today. The Zoom recording will be uploaded into all the 3 sections, okay? So that you can always refer to the briefing later on, and you can also download the recordings for your perusal, for your later for you to go through later on. So this is the basic timeline. By timeline, what I mean is that basically there are 2 very important dates as what you have gone through earlier in IDP1. You have 2 very important dates. Okay, the first important date would be the poster submission date, which is on the 12th of January, February, March, April, May. Okay, 12th of May, in which all groups will be submitting one poster. Each group will submit a series of posters. If I'm not mistaken, there will be 5 different posters for each group, which will cover all the 5 entities dalam IDP2. Okay, you will have road, drainage, and sewerage. These will be the 3 main infrastructure topics that will be covered in IDP2, followed by geotechnical design and also finally your RC design. Okay, so there will be 5 modules in IDP2, 5 different modules, in which 3 modules will be concentrating on infrastructure design, which will be on the road design, drainage design, dan juga sewerage design. You've covered one infrastructure, which is water supply design during your IDP1. So a continuation of your IDP1, you'll be designing the road, drainage, and sewerage design. You'll be doing that in IDP2 on the same site. Okay, so you'll be referring, your IDP2 will be referring to the same site that you have done during your IDP1. So we are taking the same site, cuma we are adding new design features, which would include road design, the drainage design, dan juga the sewerage design, in addition to the water supply design that you have done earlier, right? So we have about 87 students. That's quite a large number, 88 students, including myself. Okay, so for all the three different sections, right? So bear in mind, this will be your first milestone that you will need to concentrate for each group to submit your posters, which will cover the 5 different topics that I've said earlier. Okay, this will be on the 12th of May, 12th of May. Okay, and finally there will be this final presentation, okay, on the 30th of June, which is it happens to be the last day of the semester, the academic calendar. 30th of June is on Thursday, the last Thursday of your academic session. Okay, just before the 1 week study leave, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So these are the two very important dates that all should keep in mind. Okay, on the 12th of May and on the 30th of June. Okay, so these are the 2 very important dates that you need to have to always keep in mind in your IDP2, where your poster submission will be on the 12th of May and your final report and submission and presentation. Okay, for this semester, I'm not sure because some lecturers would prefer to have a face-to-face, sort of an interview, online interview, instead of your pre-recorded presentation that you've done earlier in IDP1. So some sections, some lecturers would like to maintain the same procedure, which is students preparing their recorded presentation and submitting the presentation through e-learning. Okay, but there are some lecturers that would prefer to have an online interview session with all the members of a particular group. Okay, so it hasn't been finalized yet at this stage. I will inform from time to time whether we will maintain the same procedure, which is students submitting their pre-recorded presentation, major and minor presentation, or there will be a new format where students would be interviewed online by a panel of lecturers. By a panel of lecturers, meaning the lecturers that are teaching the semester, the particular section, right? So for the final presentation, it could be similar to what you've done earlier in IDP1, which is a pre-recorded presentation, uploaded your major and final, major and minor presentation, or it could be an online interview session with a panel of lecturers. So we haven't finalized that, whether we're going to use the same procedure as last semester, or we're going to use a new format where the students will be interviewed online, okay, by a panel of lecturers to evaluate their understanding than what they have done throughout the whole semester for IDP2. So this is my first slide that I'm showing, which indicates two very important dates, which is on the 12th of May, is your poster submission. And poster submission, similar to what you've done earlier in IDP1. For each topic, there'll be one poster. So for IDP2, we have basically about 5 topics. We have our road design. We have our drainage design. Drainage. Sewerage design. Okay, these are the 3 design modules related to infrastructure works. Okay. Apart from these 3 topics, there will be additional 2 topics that would refer to be the geotech design. Okay, in geotechnical design, you are more inclined, ataupun for those who are more inclined in geotechnical characteristics, where you need to design ataupun to evaluate the safe bearing capacity of the soil for foundation design later on, or for those who are interested in piling works, then you are more suited kepada geotechnical. Okay, so for geotechnical, it is more kepada evaluation of the soil bearing capacity, to obtain the safe bearing capacity of the soil, okay, and also to look at the possibility of using piling as a foundation, right? So that will be under geotechnical design. And finally, you have your RC component, which is the reinforced concrete design, RCD component, in IDP2. In IDP1, there was no module on RC design, but we have one module in IDP2 where this RCD design will do RC design, and geotechnical will work very closely with each other, because the RC design would be doing software application. It's not manual, but it will be a software application of your of the building that will be given to you by your respective lecturers. Okay, and geotechnical design and RC design will work together very closely, in the sense that the soil parameters and the soil bearing capacity and the pile capacity will be evaluated by the geotechnical group, and that information will be passed to the reinforced concrete design group for them to proceed with the foundation design. Okay, so the geotech and the RC group will work very closely with each other. The rest is the infrastructure, road, drainage, and sewerage. Remember, road, drainage, and sewerage will be on the same site, okay, on the same site that you have done earlier in IDP 1, which means that you will need to refer to the drawings and the levels. Okay, very important is that the levels that you have produced in IDP 2, IDP 1, that is the levels I'm referring to are the levels that has been finalized after your costing and estimating punya exercise. Remember what you did in IDP 1 was the first round you propose a certain level, and then the group from the costing and estimating would evaluate the approximate cost, and then second round is that you try to reduce the cost by reducing the cut and fill volume, and that would be your final level. So the road, drainage, and sewerage will depend very heavily on the final levels that you have produced in IDP 1. So you need to refer to the drawings that you have produced earlier in IDP 1. Okay. Hopefully each group will have still have their digital format of the drawings for the levels that would be referred to in your IDP 2. So very important, the levels that you have produced earlier in IDP 1 would be referred to in IDP 2. So there is a continuation, there is an integration between what you have done earlier in IDP 1 and what you're about to do in IDP 2, which is based on the proposed levels that you have produced in IDP 1. Okay, so that levels are very important because that will be the connection between IDP 1 and IDP 2, because the levels will then be used in road design, drainage design, and also sewerage design. Drainage and sewerage is very much dependent on gravity flow. So the levels that you have produced in IDP 1 would greatly help in your drainage and sewerage design, and also your road design. Okay, so these are the 5 main topics, the 5 topics that we will be covering in IDP 2. And before we go any further, there is one important question that I need to ask to everyone. Do you prefer to have or to maintain your same group as what you have done in IDP 1, or would you prefer a new grouping that I change everyone, okay, and a new group will be formed for all? Okay, same group. Sharvin says that she or he, saya pun tak tahu, to maintain the same grouping. She, okay, Sharvin. He, doctor, okay. It can be he, it can be she. Okay, anyway, Sharvin has started the ball rolling, saying that he would prefer to have the same group as what you have gone through in IDP 1 to be maintained in IDP 2 without any changes in the group members. For section 3, do you prefer the same grouping, Abdul Rahman?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, all right. So in section 2, Muhammad Kelana?
Same group, doctor.
Okay, kumpulan yang sama. Dan wakil Aiman, Muhammad Aiman. Is Muhammad Aiman with us this morning? Wakil for section 1?
Ya, ada.
Ada, okay. So macam would you prefer to have the same group ataupun a new grouping altogether?
Same group tu.
Same group Okay. Kalau same group, lega lah saya, tak payah nak buat grouping baru. Okay, so it seems that the general the general consensus is that most of the students would prefer to have their same groups. Okay, I understand you've gone through one semester together, walaupun it's not face to face, it's online, but you already get to know each other quite well. So you will be continuing with your IDP2. Oh, by the way, siapa lagi yang saya, I think I saw someone, Hui Fen, are you here today?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, so you prefer same group ataupun new group?
Sama group boleh.
Alright, okay. So in that case, general consensus is that everyone will be having the same group again. Okay, for IDP2. Okay, so then no problem, tak ada masalah. Right. So bear in mind, keep in mind that you have very two important dates that you need to apa nama? To maintain, okay, ataupun to be aware of, which is the poster submission date on the 12th of May, and the final submission will be on the 30th of June. Yeah. Cuma the final submission, the report will be similar. You still need to upload your final report, compile everything, your final report, dan upload ke dalam e-learning. It's just the presentation part, which we haven't yet decided. Some other is going to be the similar similar format as your IDP1, in which you presented major and minor presentation, you pre-recorded, or it might be an online group interview by the panel of lecturers. And the panel of lecturers would be, if you were to have a look at the, save dulu. Okay, this would be, I think everyone has already, I think all the class representatives have shared this timetable. It's basically showing the topics that will be covered within week number 2 to probably week number 4, or maybe extended kepada week number 5. This will be your lectures. And later on, they will be online group work and supervision by your supervisors, your lecturers. Okay, from week 5 to week 15. On the 12th of May is the poster submission, and on the 30th of June is the final submission. And the lecturers involved for each section is also tabulated sini. It's also shown. For example, in section 1, you have Dr. Izni on RC component, RC module. You have Dr. Azman Muhammad on the road design component. Dr. Ahmad Safwan will be on geotechnical design. Okay. Dr. Muhammad Zuhaili will be on sewerage design, and Dr. Nur Aliani Alias will be on the drainage design. So this will be your panel of lecturers. If there is an interview session, then this will be the panel of lecturers interviewing online for the final submission. And for section 2, you have a different set of lecturers. Dr. Mariana will be on RC, Dr. Hafiz will be on sewerage design, Dr. Azman will be on geotech design, Dr. Muhammad Nasir Hanafi will be on drainage, and finally, Dr. Siti Asma will be on road design. And for section 3, you will have Cik Rose on road design, Dr. Kamaruddin on geotechnical design, Dr. Zulhilmi on drainage, IR Muhammad Saleh Yassin will be on RC, and finally, Prof. Fadil will be on sewerage design. So this will be your panel of lecturers. If you're in section 1, then your panel of lecturers would be consist of all these names. If you're in section 2, then the names in this yellow box would be your panel of lecturers interviewing your final submission, and section 3. Okay, so you have different sets of lecturers, and these are the class representatives, and this will be the timetable ataupun the schedule lectures by each lecturer. So for example, in section 1, okay, next week you start your lectures on Monday from 8 to 10. You will be on RC design. So Dr. Izni will be coming in to give a lecture. And class representatives, I would advise that contoh from section 1, Muhammad Aiman, please get in touch with all the lecturers, okay, in section 1 to get their lecture punya link, okay, sama ada Zoom ataupun Webex ataupun Google Team, Google Meet dan sebagainya. It depends on each individual lecturer. So the class representative, please get in touch with all the lecturers before the lecture starts, okay, so that you can get the the link for all your group in section 1 to follow the lectures respectively for each lecturer. So each lecturer will have their own lecture link. So please get in touch with the lecturers to get their links. And later on, okay, when after the habis all the lectures, you can form, contohnya for all those doing the RC, form a satu WhatsApp group, a small WhatsApp group for all those doing the RC design, and invite Dr. Izni to be in the group. And similarly, for all those who are doing the RC, road design, for example, form a small WhatsApp group and invite Dr. Siti Asma, Dr. Azman, okay, to be in your WhatsApp group to monitor and to advise all the work related kepada road design. And similarly, for all the 5 topics, form small WhatsApp group specifically for each topic. Okay? And so you have one WhatsApp group for RC, satu WhatsApp group for road, and so on and so on. And with all the group members, consisting of all the group members that are doing the design, contoh kalau sewerage, semua group members doing sewerage, and at the same time, Dr. Muhammad Zuhaili is also in the same group to advise, to monitor, dan juga to look into the progress for each group. Okay, so that will come later on. Later on, just before you start doing your design work, once you have distributed all the work within the group members, then later on you can form a small groups subsequently on RC sahaja, on road sahaja, on geotech sahaja, sewerage dan juga drainage, and with the lecturers involved to be in the same group, okay, to monitor and to advise and to supervise the work for the whole semester. All right. So is everyone clear about that? Semua clear? Okay. So you have the names. Okay. I will upload all this information juga in e-learning. I haven't uploaded yet because I just uploaded RC2 punya e-learning. Okay. All the notes, semua nota-nota, assignments, project dan sebagainya has been uploaded into RC2 SKAB 4333 section 02. You have all the data dalam e-learning. So pukul 11 nanti for our lectures, you can download. Our first lecture will be on staircase design. So you can download the lecture notes related kepada staircase design, and then kita follow the lecture pukul 11 nanti. Right? So any questions from anyone? How many students are there? About 92. Okay, just nice, because the limit for Zoom is about 100 students saja, yeah? About 100 participants. So we have about 92 participants from 3 different sections for today, right? So any question from anyone? Okay, just to recap balik, the 5 topics for IDP2 would be, okay, for IDP2 would be 5 different topics, of which 3 topics will be on infra. Okay, we have basically on infra. This will be on infra. Okay, infra. By the way, you have just finished your intern last semester, last semester break. So how was your intern? Did IDP provide any advantage during your intern? IDP 1, where you had your earthwork, you had your ESCP, you had your costing and estimating, dan juga your water supply module in IDP 1. Did it help you in your intern experience? Anyone? Ada satu chat di sini. Yes, okay. Brandon kata yes. So Brandon, were you involved in any of the design work during your intern? Maybe earthwork design, you did a bit of earthwork design ataupun a little bit of costing and estimating. Okay. Brandon? Okay. Brandon Fred to everyone. Yes, calculate, cut and fill. Okay, that's very good. Okay, so it seems that some students were able to make use of the information, the knowledge that they have gained in IDP 1 to help them go through their intern. I guess some of you pun ada pengalaman, okay, where IDP 1 was able, your knowledge in IDP 1 was able to compensate your experience dalam your intern. Okay, right? So infrastructure, back pada IDP 2, on infrastructure, we have 3 different topics which will be on road design. Okay, just to recap balik. Okay, road design, drainage design. In terms of evaluation, okay, and the marks distribution, it would be similar to IDP 1, which means that you have about 70% based on group work, whereas the remaining 30% will come from your interview session or your pre-recorded presentation. Now the 70% of your group work, 10% will come from your poster session. The remaining 60% will come from your group report, the overall group report, and 30% will come from the either the major and minor presentation, which is your pre-recorded presentation, or it could be an online interview and discussion within the panel of lecturers and group members. Okay, so that will contribute about 30%, and the remaining 70% is divided into 2, where 10% will be from your poster presentation or your poster submission, and the remaining 60% will come from your final group report, which will cover all the topics: road, drainage, sewerage. Okay. This will be touching on the infra works, and not forgetting ada 2 lagi, 2 other topics which will be closely related to each other, which is your geotechnical design, geotechnical design, and your RC design. Okay, usually in IDP 2 for section 2, I will be taking the RC. Tapi for this semester, I won't be taking the IDP 2 RC component for this semester because I'm quite tied up dengan IDP 1. I have 4 sections in IDP 1. Okay, so because of that, I'm releasing the IDP 2 punya RC component kepada Dr. Mariana. So Dr. Mariana will be taking up the RC component for IDP 2 for section 2. Okay, if you notice for dalam the list of lecturers, okay, lecturers yang mengajar RC 2, for example section 3, okay, is IR Saleh, PM IR Muhammad Saleh Yassin is taking up RC 2 design, okay, in section 3, and also IDP 2 for RC module. So it is usually the same lecturer. Similarly, Dr. Izni in section 1 is teaching RC design for section 1, and also involved in IDP 2 for the RC component for section 1. Except section 2 aja. You have different lecturer for RC, SKAB 4333, and different lecturer for IDP2 for RC component. Okay. So just to highlight yang itu je lah. So this will be the 5 different topics that you need to concentrate. Please distribute the work accordingly within your group. Okay. You have about 8, 9, and sometimes about 10 students per group. So if you have 10 students per group, then 2 students for each topic would be an ideal condition. But you have less than that, then you have to work out within your group the workload distribution between the 9 members ataupun the 8 members to cover all the 5 topics. Right? Any question? We have about 4 minutes lagi. If you have any questions, ataupun you can raise your hand, ataupun you can type in the chat box. Okay, and write something in the chat box if you have any questions. Ada soalan. The evaluation again, saya highlightkan di sini, would be 70% on group work secara kumpulan. 70% will come from your group work. Okay, group. Whereas 30% will come from your individual. 30% will come from individual punya work, effort, okay, individual. Dan similar to what we have done you have gone through in IDP1, this group work will then be divided kepada 2. Your poster session will contribute 10%, and your final report will contribute 60%. Whereas your individual work, you have your major and minor, okay, major presentation and minor presentation, and this will contribute kepada your 30%, major and minor. So this is the evaluation process that will be applied. Similar process that you've gone through in IDP1 will be applied in IDP2. Cuma you will have a different set of topics. Okay, totally different set of topics. Kita ada infra di sini, okay, which will cover all these 5 different topics. These 3 different topics. You have your road, you have your drainage, and sewerage. And for the remaining 2 topics would be on geotech and RC. And these 2 topics are very closely related to each other. Okay, geotech dan juga RC. Right, any question? 2 minutes left. We have about 9 coming up to 9:40. Okay. Any question? Ada soalan apa-apa? Ada? So it's quite in terms of the running of IDP2, very similar to what you've gone through earlier in IDP1. The only difference is that now you're dealing with 5 new topics apart from the 4 topics you have done earlier in IDP1. So altogether, going through IDP1 and IDP2, you've covered 9 different topics. Okay? In which 4 topics will be covering on infra, okay? 2 topics on geotech and juga RC. You have costing and estimating, and earthwork dan juga ESCP. So those are those altogether. It is a very broad topic. Yes, kita ada soalan sini. Chat. Tak ada, Huifan. Okay, Huifan tak ada soalan. GRW ataupun Faika dan juga Aziza, any question? Ada? Less than 1 minute? Okay, tak ada. Kalau macam tu, then currently okay, alright. So in that case, Aziza pun tak ada. Okay. In that case, I will then stop sharing. Okay. Dan next week, remember, is your